his 21 points. But his counterpart in the backcourt, Tiny Archibald, came back to score a season-high 27 points. 7 assists, including this one to McHale. Tiny was the most valuable player. As the Celtics win it 106-97, they lead 2 games to none. And from Chicago, Illinois, it's Game 3 in the best-of-7 series between the Bulls and Boston Celtics. Welcome to Chicago Stadium, a standing room only crowd of better than 20,000 fans on hand for this one in game number 3. Hi everybody, I'm Gary Bender. Well, the Bulls really have their work cut out for them. However, you must remember one thing about this team. The last time they played here against Boston, they won by 23 points. But they also have something that has to concern them. They're trying to become the first team since 1977 to lose the first 2 games in a best-of-7 series back and win that series. There's been an awful lot said about this game by players on both sides. Artis Gilmore, the 7'2" center of the Chicago Bulls, had this to say. He said, "We've got to get more physical. We've got to be able to try and punish them and wear them down so that we can beat them in the late rounds." But Tiny Archibald, who's been an outstanding playmaker, Celtics says they are tough and physical, and we don't want to get into a half-court game with them. Reggie Theus, he thinks the tempo is so important in this game. He says we have to push the ball up the floor more. We have to game. But Larry Bird feels that would be a mistake. He feels that if they try to run with us, they'll take one of their most important players out of the game, and Artis Gilmore. I think that we'll run them into the ground. So that sets the stage in what should be quite a ball game, and tempo again into play. And Bill Russell and Rick Barry, who's right? Reggie Theus or Larry Bird?
Well, I think it's not necessarily who's right, but Chicago should be able to run and keep Artis Gilmore in the game. If he gets the offensive rebound and makes a good outlet pass, he does not have to be fast. And no matter how good, you still can't run every time down, and that's when he should be in the game. They should be able to run and play the physical game.
I talked to the coaches before the game, Gary, and Jerry Sloan would like them to run more, only in the respect of trying to take advantage of the steals, but to try to get the ball up into their offensive end in the court a little bit quicker. Into their offense, have more time to do things in the set offense. Bill Fitch, of course, he would like to go ahead and run every opportunity he gets. And Bill, I have to ask you this, because you know a little bit about the Boston Celtics, I would think. What would you do to beat the Boston Celtics?
Well, first of all, I would concentrate on that pass. See, they're only effective when certain guys are handling the ball in the break. So when Archibald, when every shot made, every time the shot get a rebound, I would try to block off the pass to Nate Archibald, to make them look for someone else to dribble the ball a couple of times before they start the break. That way you can keep up with them. If you shut off the outlet pass, it's possible.
Well, we'll see if the Bulls can do that. That great crowd is for the introduction of the Chicago Bulls, and the one man that they're really concerned about is Tiny Archibald. And for the starting lineups, let's go back to Gary.
The NBA on CBS. Tonight's playoff game is sponsored by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Kemper and the independent insurance agents who represent us. For all of your insurance needs, ride with Kemper. And by the U.S. Army. The Army, a place to be, all you can be.
We're ready to go here. Game number 3. Let's check first the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics this year winning 5 of the 6 games in the regular season of play. They'll be starting at one of the forwards with Larry Bird along with Cedric Maxwell. Parish will be the center. Tiny Archibald and Chris Ford in the backcourt. Bill Fitch in his second year as a head coach of the Boston Celtics. The Chicago Bulls They will counter with David Greenwood, Dwight Jones at the forwards, Artis Gilmore, Reggie Theus, and Bobby Wilkerson, Jerry Sloan. Also his second year as a head coach of the Chicago Bulls. And there's the three men in charge of the game, Lee Jones and Paul Mahalik. Jim Capers, the alternate. Mahalik in his 11th year of the NBA. Lee Jones in his 10th year. And this place already is generating a lot of excitement. Better than 1,000 fans on hand as the Celtics have a 2-0 lead. And Boston, a team that during the regular course of the season really gave the Bulls a difficult time. Tempo, Bill Russell. Boy, I think it's interesting how every game we seem to do comes to that word.
Because tempo is important in getting your shooting rhythm, your defensive rhythm. The whole game is based on playing the way you want to play. Now, Chicago obviously would like to play a half-court game, as they said. So that way the guys, the muscle, can counteract the speed.
The Bulls with the opening tip-off. Artis Gilmore, the left-hand roll, and Robert Parish brings it down. Parish is having an excellent series. He had 27 points the last time out, 17 points in the game. Tiny Archibald into Larry Bird. Rebound ripped down by Greenwood. This Bulls team is big. They're 6'9.5", 6'10", 7'2". The smallest starter in the lineup is 6'6", Bobby Wilkerson. Jones gets it out to Artis Gilmore. Blocked by Perry. Greenwood, 9 seconds on the shot clock. Out to Reggie Theus. And Chicago has jumped up 4-0 lead. Check that, 2-0 lead. Archibald out to Cedric Maxwell. Dwight Jones to Larry Bird. You can hear the crowd in the background as Lee Jones has spotted something inside. Foul is going to Bobby Wilkerson. Larry Bird will inbounds the ball. Here's Tiny Archibald, the most valuable player in game number 2. Out to Larry Bird. Bird had a tough time getting loose from Greenwood in game 2, hitting only 5 of 13 from the field. Parish. Maxwell shaking Dwight Jones, but Greenwood with a block off of the Boston Celtics.
Excellent defense that time on the part of the Bulls. Good weak side help with Greenwood coming over to help Dwight Jones on that swinging move on the hook shot by Cedric Maxwell.
Bobby Wilkerson, the number 1 draft pick of Seattle a few years ago. He played for Bill Russell in the Supersonics. Here's Greenwood for the baseline. That basket will count, and he's been fouled. And the Bulls now with a 4-0 lead.
Talk about that play the last time. Here goes Maxwell, overcomes Greenwood. Beautiful block on the play. Ball knocked out of bounds by Cedric Maxwell, and Greenwood down the other end makes a real good play offensively.
Maxwell committing a personal foul. Greenwood. David Greenwood, a second-year man from UCLA, averaging almost 15 points a game in the regular season. Archibald pushing the ball up the floor. The outstanding playmaker for this Boston Celtics team. Chris Bird up to Archibald. And, oh, is this place noisy. Just outside to go in the first quarter. Parish to Chris Ford. Ford has shot very well in this series. Larry Bird, a difficult shot. 4-2, Chicago. Reggie Theus, David Greenwood, Maxwell out to pick him up. This Chicago team really finished with a rush this year, winning their last games in the regular season, 13 of their last 15, and there's a foul. That basket will not count. The foul will go on Larry Bird. That will be his first personal.
That was a classic pick and roll play. Dwight Jones said a good pick roll to the basket and picked up the foul.
Theus, back door. Beautiful pass to Jones. Check that, Bobby Wilkerson. 6-2, Chicago. Theus, it was a start in the All-Star game, along with his teammate Artis Gilmore. And we're going to have a foul.
Well, here's the last play. See, Dwight Jones, 13, sets the screen. Now he rolls to the basket, fouls the ball. Bird had gone. He came back over and fouled Dwight Jones. A good thing he did, otherwise he had the basket and the dunk. Now here's the last fine pass going into Bobby Wilkerson. He shoots it before he goes down. Wilkerson lays it in. The Bulls are pumped up. The crowd's behind them. They've got a 4-point lead.
Nobody protects you like the cavalry can. The Kemper Cavalry. We're the outfit that has first accident forgiveness in all. We pioneered full replacement value in homeowners insurance. In life insurance, we offer a complete range of protection. And we're specialists in business insurance. Call out the cavalry. Once you compare Kemper, you'll ride with us.
There's a hungry kind of feeling, and every day it grows. You know there's so much more to you than anybody knows.
Specialist Kevin Crowley is working with tomorrow's technology in the Army's newest tank.
Be all that you can be.
The laser determines target, feeds it to the computer.
Be all that you can be.
It's just incredible.
'Cause we need you in the Army.
Well, at the halfway point, the Golden Bear may get his 6th green jacket if he continues that way.
That's pretty tough to pick up there at that Masters golf course, but if there's anybody that can do it, it certainly could be Tom Watson. Another group of fine players in the lead there, but what a round by Nicklaus. I heard he missed a 2-foot putt to get the record on the 15th hole.
Round 3 will be coming up tomorrow on CBS. Larry Bird, pressure by Greenwood. Robert Parish over shooting the basket. Up to Theus. There's Theus trying to step up the tempo. That's what he thinks the Bulls have to do, and Greenwood hits again. It's 8-2 Chicago.
Well, this is what Jerry Sloan was talking about before the game. We said he wanted to rush the ball up, see if you have a shot. If you don't have a shot, then you work a half-court offense. That gives you time. If you rush it up, good shot by Bird. If you rush it up, then you have time to run your offense.
Larry Bird with 4 points.
Good job on Bird in the last game, but he's off to a fine start here this evening.
Look at that! Gilmore almost took Parish with him on that play.
When the big fella gets that kind of position inside, you better bail out quick.
There's Bird off balance. He hits the deck to Theus. Archibald is back. Theus and a foul will go on Tiny Archibald.
Now Artis gets the ball inside. He gets himself set, goes up real strong. He had planted. He's able to carry it. Here's another view of it. He just makes a strong power move right over the outstretched hand of Robert Parish. And if Robert had gotten his hand in the way of that one, Bill, he would have gotten it broken on the rim.
Well, he had a rough time shooting the rest of the night, I can tell you that.
That would intimidate you a little bit, wouldn't it?
No, but it might scare me.
Makes it 11-4. That was the 3rd team foul against the Celtics. The first on Tiny. 3 points in the game now for Theus.
Now, there's one thing you have to watch for with Chicago. They're running the ball as well as any the good team run the ball. But they're not used to running the ball. And so fatigue, they get a different kind of fatigue running the ball this way.
The steal by Wilkerson, and it's 14-4. Boston has asked for a timeout. In the games played previously, all 4 of them, including the series against the Knicks, the Bulls were behind early. This is the first game they've jumped.
Here's the play again. Tiny Archibald tries to penetrate inside. The ball's knocked away. And it's off to the races for the Bulls. They took it down the other end and got a nice dunk shot. They're in control.
A little Old Spice has a lot of rewards. Old Spice is the clean, fresh, masculine scent so many women love. So even if you love only one woman, you'll love Old Spice, the man scent so many women love.
Is this the only size you've got?
Don't worry, I'll fix it.
Would you buy a suit from someone who only had one size? So why buy insurance from a one-company agent who can only sell you policies from one company? There's another way to buy insurance. From an independent agent. He represents several companies, not just one. So he can choose insurance that's tailor-made for you and your budget.
It'll be perfect with a sweater.
Look for your independent insurance agent in the Yellow Pages. He's the more than one company agent.
Orion Pictures presents John Boorman's X.
I shall find the man and give birth to a god.
An empire born of legend and lust, where the only fear is the pain of love.
I protest my innocence!
Were I not king, I would make you pay with your life!
Excalibur, rated R. Now Check newspapers for local listing.
Tomorrow on CBS Sports Saturday, it's great heavyweight boxing when undefeated Greg Page battles tough Marty Monroe. Be ringside tomorrow, 3 Eastern on CBS Sports.
On that program, CBS Sports Saturday, we're going to have a very interesting inside look at the situation revolving around Vince Ferragamo. We understand that he hasn't signed with Montreal. Brent Musburger, the host of the show, will be developing that tomorrow. Right now, 6 straight unanswered points by Chicago. They lead 14-4, and Parish gets them on the board. The Bulls, by the way, 6 of their first 7 shots as we start this game. Greenwood. And a pushing off foul on Gilmore, who elbowed his man out of the way.
Jerry Sloan up off the bench. He didn't like the call at all. Here's the move inside. Here comes Gilmore. Let's see what he does. Right there he moves. He just went up in the air with his arm, and happened to be on it when he moved it up. He didn't do it intentionally, but as strong as he is, if he makes contact, he moves people.
2 fouls on Artis. Kobe Dietrich getting ready to check in. Cedric Maxwell, and now they moved the ball very nicely since that timeout and scored both times down the floor.
Now, what Boston is doing now, in order to get back in the game, is they're running that pitch. And the good teams have to be able to run and run a set offense. Now, what I was talking about earlier is Chicago running. Then your bench becomes far more important. You've got to have a good bench if you're going to run the ball like that. Greenwood, the guy's going to get tired.
Greenwood with a tough miss. Archibald, Ford setting up from three-point area. This is rebound, Maxwell. Maxwell hoisting the boards, and a foul inside. Cedric Maxwell really getting good position.
Well, that's because nobody boxed him off. Dwight Jones missed his assignment that time, and he was able to sneak right around Dwight on the baseline. He came inside of him and got the rebound. He missed the first opportunity, but he was fouled on the second.
Foul on Bobby Wilkerson. So Gilmore and Wilkerson with 2. Ricky Sobers checks in. Kobe Dietrich is also in for the Bulls. That's one thing Chicago has now, a much better bench. They call Ricky Sobers the super sub. He has come in and really given the Bulls a lift off the bench.
Now what they've had to do, they've had to take Artis Gilmore because that running game might have got him a little tired a little early.
And they can't afford to get that big man in foul difficulty. Maxwell at the line. He has 3 points thus far.
The Celtics have run off 5 straight points. It's been a 6-1 if he hits it. And so they've got themselves right back into this game after trailing by 10.
Well, the timeout by Bill Fitch certainly paid some dividends for this Boston team. Boston with the best record of the NBA this year. Reggie Theus, he faked Ford up and hit it. That was a tough shot because Theus actually made contact with Fritz Ford. Theus now with 6 points. 16-10. Ford, who loves to shoot three-point area. Parish goes for the stuff. Dwight Jones is up in his face and commits the foul.
Well, it's pretty good defense by Chicago's part after the initial breakdown when the drive was able to be made. Here's Ford on the drive. Theus overcommitted. Now Dietrich, who was on the center, Parish, came over to help. Dwight Jones on the weak side comes over, which he has to do as the weak side. But unfortunately for the Bulls, he picked up a foul.
Robert Parish, you see what he's shooting from the line from free throw. You can't do much better than that. He has been just remarkable all year long, and he's continued his regular season play right into the playoffs. 27 points and 17 points the 2 times out. Now with 4 tonight. Theus on 16-12. Chicago into Greenwood. To Greenwood. What touch this guy has at 6'9 and a half. 6 points now for Greenwood. Archibald off to Larry Bird. Bird. Rebound, Kobe Dietrich. And he almost and did throw it away. Walked to the ball at the same time. He looked up the floor. Nobody was there. Tried to change it. All of a sudden, he was in a lot of trouble.
Oh, when you get a rebound, the big guy, the only time you should dribble before you look is if there's a guy giving you pressure, trying to steal the ball. Then you a couple of dribbles. Other than that, if you get solid, turn around and take a look up court and see where everybody is, and then you make your pass.
It's obvious, though, Bill, they're really thinking about running tonight, trying to get into a better transition than they have in the previous 2. Maxwell, kind of a running hook that time.
Yeah, that's the old jump hook. That's a shot that I remember one guy was unbelievable. Billy McGill had one of the greatest jump hooks I've ever seen.
18-14, a 4-point lead for Chicago. Dietrich off to Greenwood again, and he's got a hot hand. Parish zips it down. Here comes Archibald. Archibald with 7 assists in game number 2 to Ford. Ford has hit 8 of 12 from the field in this series. Doesn't
probably as good as any guard in the league at being able to penetrate on the drive. Here you'll see him weave his way, makes a little move, gets through the two men, Archibald and Parish. Parish gets it on the way down. Goaltending.
But that'll give you something to think about, even if it is goaltending.
8 points for Reggie. Theus, three-pointer by Chris Ford, and that's his spot. That's Ford territory over there. Chris Ford had a three-pointer earlier in this series. Out it comes to Dwight Jones, 20-17. Ford reaching in on Theus. Theus with 8 points already in the game. In series against the Knicks, he had a seasonal high 37. Ricky Sobers.
Ricky Sobers has more confidence going for him this year than any time in his life, I think. When he shoots the ball, he just thinks it's going in, and most of the time this year it was.
He's been the spark plug coming off the bench for the Chicago team. He did not start any games this year. Archibald, foul on Greenwood, reaching in on Larry Bird.
Well, Bill, we've talked about it so often how big men really neglect boxing men off the boards, and that's an example of what can happen. Nobody screened Larry off that time. Greenwood turned and went to the basket.
And also, you should be aware of the fact that when a guy takes a shot from the top of the key, if he misses, it's going to be a long rebound. And so getting out the guys outside becomes even more important.
Larry Bird at the line. Substitution getting ready now to come into this lineup. Larry Kenon will check in, the former San Antonio Spur, and Dwight Jones will leave. In this year, had a remarkable game against this Boston team. He came in and scored 32 points, and he, even though losing his starting job to Dwight Jones 13 games ago, still has had a lot of playoff experience. Larry Bird makes it 22-18. Bird now with 5 points. Larry Bird in game number 1 had 23, but in the second game, Greenwood did an excellent defensive job on him. He had only 5 of 13 from the field. 22-19. Ford trying to stay on Theus. Mahalik says Ford has committed the foul. Pretty good move by Theus.
This Reggie Theus is a tough, real outstanding basketball player. And what he's doing is keeping offensive pressure on the Celtics. He's rushing the ball up, and he's a threat anywhere inside the three-point, even outside that. So they got to be aware of him. And this just subtle pressure helps over the period of a game.
Traveling by Robert Parish. Chicago with 4:33 to go in this first quarter. And the lead at 24-19 will inbounds it. Pressure in the backcourt. Ford and Archibald. You saw Greenwood hit one a moment ago. Greenwood had problems earlier with the wrist. It really hurt his shooting, but it's back down. Sobers. There's Greenwood ripping it down after Ricky Sobers. Good reaction by Greenwood. Sobers 6'3", a former number 1 draft pick of the Phoenix Suns. Greenwood. Rebound by Kenon. They're really hitting the boards, and Maxwell up to tiny Archibald. Archibald ducks in. Oh, he hits the ball. We have a foul on Kobe Dietrich. Archibald really hit hard.
Here's what Tiny does so well for this Boston Celtic team. Great opportunities. A little sidestep move. He weaves in and out. It looked like he crashed right into Dietrich, who was set that time. And Jerry was really furious and up off the bench for the Bulls, and he had pretty good reason to be upset about that play.
Penalty in effect now. Archibald at the line. You know, Bill Fitch said after the last game that Archibald's now 40 years old instead of 32 because he was banged around so much on plays just like that one.
Archibald is doing the same for the Celtics that Theus is doing for the Bulls, and keeping that pressure up on offensively. You should always do that because that way the defense will make him make more mistakes because of the continual pressure.
You had a look at Bill Fitch, the coach of the year last year for the Boston Celtics. David Greenwood, and right long away the ball. It's a picturesque form. Greenwood out of UCLA makes it 26-21. He already is in double figures with 10 points. Ford again, three-pointer for Chris Ford. He has hit 2 of them now. Chris Ford was 7th in the NBA in three-point plays. He hit 36 of them in the regular season. And now here tonight.
They went through a long dry spell there near the end of the season. It took him a long time to get back on track, but he's really got the mark down tonight.
2-point lead now for Chicago. Hands are pushing inside. Ford commits a foul on Theus. Theus is trying to get inside, and Ford now has committed 2, and the penalty's in.
What Theus is doing is keeping the pressure on, as I said, and Ford is not fast enough to keep up with him, but he's playing good position defense, and he just got caught that time.
Chris Ford, there was a lot of criticism of him. He went into that slump that Rick mentioned, but boy, did he play well in that game in Philadelphia for the Atlantic Division title.
Well, this whole Boston team, remember when we were talking to Bill Fitch, he said his team at one stretch was 10-2, but they weren't playing good basketball, and then they had some problems, but they sure turned it around. From 1 week to the next, it was like two different teams. Philly blew them out, and then when that deciding game came up the next Sunday, this team has played exceptionally well since that time.
Ford, and you might recall on March 29th, hit 7 of 10 from the field. 27-24, 3:10 remaining first quarter. And a foul on Ricky Sobers, trying to stay with Tiny Archibald. That's the first on Sobers. I don't know how this crowd can stay this noisy for the rest of the game. I don't know if they'll have left. There it is, better than 20,000, standing room only.
One thing about this team here, they really had a situation here where they were not supporting the team all that well, but as soon as this team turned it around, they have been out and supported. These people here know the game of basketball, Bill. They like good basketball, and when the team gives them that kind of basketball, they come out and support it.
Theus is now being taken out of the lineup, and Lester comes in. This is their #1 draft pick, Ronnie Lester.
Now, the Bulls are substituted a lot earlier because they have to in their running game. Because if you get in a whole season where you walk the ball up pretty much, you got a different kind of fatigue, as I said earlier. Now, they've been running real outstanding tonight, but this makes the fatigue is because you have to think about what you're doing. That'll make you tired even quicker.
Archibald makes it a 1-point game. He has 4 points. 27-26. After trailing by 10 early, Boston now by only 1. Kenon up to Greenwood. Greenwood with a hot hand. 10 points. Now with 12. Greenwood has really gotten the Bulls off running in this game. 29-26. Greenwood now is 6 of 9 from the field for his 12 points. Larry Bird goes right around Kenon. And that against the Celtics is their 4th turnover. We're going to have a timeout call. Bill Fitch is storming. He is really upset about that last call on Larry Bird. 2:40 to go. First quarter, the Bulls lead at 29-26.
There is no country on earth where photography is more a way of life than Japan. And because they've been first with so many innovations, no camera company is more responsible for this than Pentax. First, where it means something to be first.
Outside, the sea throws you an angry coming home party. But below, comfort. Introducing new Royal Comfort Pipe Tobacco. Now you can take comfort in knowing there's a good-tasting aromatic pipe tobacco specially blended to smoke cool, to always satisfy. Pipe after pipe after pipe. New Royal Comfort. If it's a smoke you seek, take comfort.
It's no secret a lot of people believe American cars aren't built as well as Japanese or European cars. Well, I'd like to take you through this factory to show you the spirit of our workers, the level of our technology, the quality of our cars. Then no one can say our cars don't stack up. We can't you through this plant, but we can give you $50 to test drive and compare our cars to qualifying competitive cars, and we'll pay you no matter whose car you buy. We're not foolish, we're confident.
The new Chrysler Corporation.
The Masters. In all the world, there are few events that can match this tournament for its tradition, pride, and excellence. The Masters, starting tomorrow, 4 Eastern on CBS Sports.
49-40. 49-40 at halftime.
A classic, the Masters, the 3rd and 4th round, coming up here on CBS at halftime. We'll be joining Brent Musburger in New York. He'll have highlights of the Milwaukee series and San Antonio and Houston. Ronnie Lester, the rookie from Iowa, missing his first attempt of the night. 29-26, Chicago with the lead. 2:23 to go in the first quarter. Bird to Archibald. I tell you, Bird just seems to see the entire floor, and there was a good example of it.
Well, that's That's why he's the type of player every coach would love to have.
Split vision or peripheral vision, you can practice that so that you can see the whole court. Everybody on the court, you should be able to see them at all times, except when you're shooting.
2 minutes. A 1-point lead for Chicago. Here's Lester. Broken up by Maxwell. Cornbread Maxwell. He's going to take it all the way to the baseline out to Chris Ford. Ford, three-pointer. He has hit 3 of those. Chris Ford with 3 3-point plays. And the Celtics have a 31-29 lead.
I said all along, this team, better than any team in the league, uses that three-point opportunity, and you're going to see more and more of that as long as that is in. Teams will start to take advantage of it. It can really change a ball game.
Ford already with 9 points in the game. Silver's on the move. And that'll even it up, 31 all. We're all even with 1:23 to go in this first quarter. We have quite a game here at Chicago Stadium. Silvers with 4 points. Archibald will bring it up. Ronnie Lester's the man who was drafted in the first round by Portland, then traded for Kelvin Ramsey, who went on to Portland. Also coming to Chicago is another #1 draft pick, Chris Ford. Ford off to Archibald. Nice fake by Tiny. And high with a rebound. Here's Greenwood. Off to Lester. Lester, beautiful pass for Larry Kenon. And Lester, who was out for except 8 games this year due to knee surgery, looks pretty good in the early going. Archibald.
We'll watch the last basket coming down. Here comes Lester with the ball. He'll go right by Chris Ford. He'll draw Larry Bird to him. Keep the on the right. There he comes wide open, busting down the floor. Dunk shot for the Bulls. Excellent fast break that time. But Tiny Archibald, Bill, he goes wherever he wants to go. They can't do anything with him, and that's the one. He is the one player, as we mentioned before the game, that the Bulls were concerned about. And now you see why.
Because he's so fast that you never get a chance defensively. Because he's so busy just trying to keep up.
You see a change. Greenwood coming out. He has 12 points. Dwight Jones checks in. Greenwood had committed his second foul, and so Jerry Sloan gets him out of there as the Bulls have a 33-31 lead.
The one thing that I think the big difference I see, Bill, is that when the Celtics come down and get that penetration and they try to get the break, if it's not there, they flow very smoothly into what they want to do. The Bulls, when they don't have it, they seem to stand around. They're not quite sure as to what to do, and they don't run as smoothly on their offense.
Reggie Silvers penetrating very well. He has 6 points. Reggie Silvers has come off. He's had 6 game-winning shots for Chicago this year. He's just been remarkable. The start of the year, he wasn't on the team. They didn't even sign him. Then they did after Ronnie Lester got hurt. And now a foul against Chicago.
Ricky Silvers pushed the basket and a 3-man stack. The Celtics did down low, and Silvers was pushing the fight through.
So what you're finding here is that they usually expect the big guys to do a lot of pushing, but you'll find that the little guys are doing a lot of pushing. There they are. These guards are mixing it up pretty good.
I would say these two teams don't like each other very well. They are really letting each other know how they feel.
Jerry, that is an integral part of playoff competition. You play a team 4, 5, or 6 times in a row, you're going to create some animosity no matter how.
I tell you, I'm really surprised right now. The Bulls are doing a relatively good job of a running game, a quick transition type of game. And the big question is, can they keep it up for 4 quarters? Will they be able to sustain it? Just like Bill mentioned, Artis had to come out real early to get a rest. I don't know if they will be able to do that.
Harold Henderson is checked in at guard, number 43. You see him from the Boston Celtics. A very quick guard to Ronnie Lester. Lester, they say, his knee is at about 90% rehabilitation. He's worked hard, playing in only 8 games. They feel he's a super prospect. And away from the ball, a foul has been spotted against Theus. Reggie Theus, his first. You see the time left now in this first quarter. 15 seconds.
The Bulls have done a good job of getting an inside game. Of course, they got a lot of those baskets off of break opportunities. They got 9 baskets inside of 12 feet. The Celtics only have 4.
Henderson, the quickness of Henderson. He's going to work that knee of Lester's. Chris Ford off to Henderson. 2 seconds. 1. Counted, had a drop. And after 12 minutes, Chicago Stadium erupts here as the fans are on their feet. The Bulls with a 35-32 lead. The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station.
Sunday.
Witness two men who changed the world. Their story will amaze you. Their courage will inspire you. Witness Peter and Paul, Sunday.
This is CBS.
We design our Converse All-Stars for the greatest athletes in the world. The greatest basketball players like Dr. J. The greatest tennis players like Chris Evans. The greatest football players like Tony Dorsett. The greatest base stealers like Lou Brock. The world's greatest competitors in almost every sport are training and winning in Converse, the shoes of the stars.
Before Scott's blends family grass seed, all the seed has to pass inspection.
Here's my sample. Yes, sir.
We reject tons because of weeds or empty seeds. We only want plump, vigorous seed that grows beautiful lawns because we pass the toughest inspection. Yours. Family seed from Scott's for a lawn that satisfies the toughest customers.
New York's Hot Gossips, Wednesday on 7:30 Magazine.
What do pro basketball players do on their day off?
They coach us.
Okay, now fake the...
They teach us.
They play with us.
Yeah. Beautiful, baby.
They're our friends.
The NBA has adopted Special Olympics, the sports program for the mentally retarded. We're helping to make it the biggest and the best basketball league in America.
You can help too. Be a Special Olympics volunteer. The preceding was furnished as a public service by the National Basketball Association.
If I said that opportunity, it was only 3 points ahead, I'd be
Well, you have a lead of 35-32, and the reason you have a lead is a statistic I've just been handed me. The Chicago Bulls in the first 12 minutes shot 70% from the field, 16 of 23. Boston shot 47%, but that pales by comparison.
Well, they came down on their break opportunities, and they had 5 easy opportunities and scored 10 points. The Boston team, meanwhile, had 5 opportunities. They only got 5 points off their break.
With Bill Russell and Rick Barry, I'm Gary Bender. We start the second quarter from the Chicago area. Robert Parish. And Parish, reaching over, commits the foul as he followed his own shot. Parish with his first personal foul.
There's Theus under the boards. He goes up for the rebound. Parish, who missed it, went right through the glass. Right over Theus, is back for the foul.
Ronnie Lester, who hasn't played all that much, getting some very full experience, some meaningful minutes in this first half. Off to Theus. Theus, who had a breather there in the early going. Reggie Theus with 9 points. You saw Gilmore try to follow. Larry Kenon. Rebound, Bird, and it's physical. McHale was checked in, didn't see the ball. And he over Ronnie Lester. McHale did not see the outlet pass that was thrown to him.
Here we see the rebound opportunity after the Kenon miss. Right there, Bird has it. He tries to throw it to McHale. McHale didn't know it was coming, and he just steamrolls right over Ronnie Lester.
He says, if I'm going to get a foul for it, somebody will know about it.
That reminds me of the story. Collins at one time where he got called for an offensive foul and they didn't call it on him. Next time he came down and just killed the guy and said, now that is an offensive foul.
Boy, McHale looked like a wide receiver running a pattern that time. 35-32, the first foul on McHale. McHale's played well in this series. Parish, he comes up with a steal to Chris Ford. Back is Dwight Jones, and Ford will wait. McHale on the baseline. He's trying to get it to him. Can't. I tell you, Ford better keep shooting the three-pointers.
He should have backed out there. He's 3 for 3 from three-point range, 0 for 2 from inside close, and he could have moved back and taken it that time.
10:45 to go. Second. Reggie Theus. They give him some operating room. Up to Dwight Jones. Rebound Gilmore. He's fouled by Parish. And Parish now has 2 personal fouls. They're really hitting those offensive boards.
And of course, we know from past experience that Robert Parish is a man that a lot of times they can ill afford to lose. When he's got out of the game, they've had some difficulties. Of course, they've got a player by the name of Rick Roby who does a pretty darn good job filling in for him. And here he comes.
Rick Roby, who can really pound the boards. And also checking into the ball game, Ricky Sobers.
They say he hits a couple guys at the table on the way out just to get ready for the game.
The ball game is Henderson, Tiny Archibald in. Check that, ML Carr coming in for him. It'll be Archibald and Carr at the guards. Rick Roby, Larry Bird, and Kevin McHale. Here's Gilmore. Gilmore out of there after picking up 2 fouls early. He has 2 points thus far. We've been setting on this 35-32 score. ever since the end of that first quarter of play. We have 10:37 left in the second quarter. Now, 4-point lead for Chicago. Tiny Archibald up to ML Carr. Carr played very well in the second game of the series. Here's Rick Roby at 6'10" out of Kentucky. Archibald. Archibald, he put that one up. That was a guesser, I think.
That was called your Hail Mary.
It counts.
His prayers were answered.
Yes, they were. It's a good Irish Catholic town, Boston, right?
Archibald with 8 points on that rainbow shot. There, Larry missing a couple. Now hits one. He has 4 points. 38-34. Archibald again, always pushing, always forcing the issue. Larry Bird on the move. Beautiful pass to Roby. Bird also took out a couple of guys on his move inside.
Little contact there.
Really?
A lot of contact there.
38-36, Chicago by 2. Boy, Bird with the excellent ability to pass the ball. They say the best since Bob Cousy to play with the Celtics. Here's Reggie Theus. That's goaltending on Kevin McHale.
Now here's that last play. Let's see how contact it really was. Bill Bird will get the ball from Tiny. He makes his move as he gets by Larry Kenon. Over the help comes Artis. Passes off, crashes into Artis. Artis falls down. He takes down someone else as Roby dunks 2 points in. Now there was either a block or a charge on the part of Bird that time.
Like the domino theory. McHale over Dwight Jones. Now he has a chance for a 3-point play.
Now here's the same play in a different angle we just talked about. Let's see if Artis gets set as Larry makes his move. Artis moves over when Larry's committed. That should have been a block. No foul was called, but the Celtics don't mind because Roby dunks home 2 points. It's a 2-point lead right now with 9:16 to go in the second quarter.
Sailing a tall ship is an old dream, but some men still dream it.
Stand by the headsail. Stand by the fore. All fast. Hang up on the back. Up on the back. Take in the main top. Let's put her to sleep. It's Miller time.
Miller time. Time to head for shore and the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller beer. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. She's right out there. When it's time to relax.
Harry, a motorcycle.
Yamaha Exciter gets about 1,000 miles per gallon.
Honey, you can put your stuff in here, and it'll get about 2,000 miles per gallon.
It's got electric start, and it gets 8,000 miles per gallon.
The Yamaha Exciter comes with or without a trunk. It's easy to handle and a heck of a lot of fun. But to be honest, it gets about 75 miles a gallon.
Hey, wasn't you in here last month?
In the world of golf, there are many challenges. And then there's the Masters. Starting tomorrow, 4 Eastern on CBS Sports.
40-38. Let's go back on that play a moment ago.
What I'd like to show you, Gary, is now Larry Kenon has Bird. Now Bird has him beaten here. He gives him a fake, gets him up. Now Bird has him beaten. He sees his man, Archibald pick his man up. He should have run over to Roby. Instead, he stood there out of defense, and so Roby ends up with a dunk shot. See the pass off there.
And then there's Dwight Jones, who was coming to help from the weak side, but Artis fell into him and knocked him down, so he couldn't get over to help out. Roby had the easy dunk.
But the reason I want to show that was the concept of team defense is when you get beat, you should go and help out the guy that got to pick your man up.
Garrett used one statistic at the quarter, rebound statistic. 11-3, the Bulls just killed the Celtics on the boards.
And you know most of those had to be on the offensive end, the way they've been following. 1-point lead now for the Chicago Bulls. Ricky Sobers. Rick Roby brings it down. Roby up to ML Carr. Carr this year who switched to the guard spot. Brings it out to Archibald. And Tiny now will set it up. 8:53 to go until halftime. We'll be joining Brent Musburger. Highlights of that Philadelphia-Milwaukee series, San Antonio. Larry Bird. Larry Bird now with 8 points. And the Celtics with a 1-point lead, 41-40.
And Larry got that shot because Rick Roby screened his man off, and the man guarding Roby never stepped out. That's why Bird was open.
Theus tipped out by McHale. It'll be Chicago's basketball. Coming in, Greenwood will come back. Greenwood had 12 points in that first quarter. Larry Kenon will check out. There he is, their number 1 draft pick a year ago. He was the 2nd pick overall in the draft. As you can see, the high scorer in our game. As Reggie Theus, well, it's going to be Greenwood who inbounds it for Chicago. They have a fresh 24 seconds. McHale to pick up Greenwood. 2 fine young players in the NBA against each other. Sobers up to Theus. Theus driving Carr. And Carr committing the foul. That's his first personal.
Outstanding lateral movement and good speed for a man his side. Carr just a half a step late, catches him with the body.
Boy, it's 6'7". You forget he's that tall, the way he moves around out there. Theus to average almost 19 points a game. Greenwood changed his shot, and McHale fouled it. Greenwood having trouble that time, tried to alter it. And that's the 2nd foul on Kevin McHale, who was the most valuable player on our game, televised, game number 1 from the Boston Garden. Here is Greenwood. David Greenwood, shooting 49% from the field, but he was shooting so well early in the year, hurt the wrist. It was so bad, even bend his wrist. Now he's back strong and shooting like he did last year. And that was certainly indicative of what a future this young man's going to have. 13 points of David Greenwood. He's tied it up 41 all. 8:15 to go until intermission. Archibald to Rick Roby. Roby. Gilmore up. Bird saves it. Up to Carr. M.L. Carr.
Good hustle play by Larry Bird.
43-41. Carr, who missed 41 games this year due to an injury. He was one of the few guys glad to see the season ended so he could get in shape. Gilmore, tough shot. Roby made it difficult for him. Archibald. Tiny has Roby. Roby wide open. Gilmore comes out. It looks like he blocked the shot. Fitz thought they should have goaltending. He's up and yelling at the official. Sobers. Here it comes to Carr again.
It was McHale who made the block again. McHale, who had 5 blocks, I believe, in that game, number 1. Here's a great pass by Archibald to Roby inside.
And Rick Roby, a little pirouette that time. 45-41. Roby with 4 points.
So we're starting to run out of control. They're going to have to start playing a little better control of themselves. They're losing the... Here's the Archibald on that play there.
Watch this pass. Archibald sees Roby cut behind. He has to go 1 step too far, otherwise he would have a cinch layup, but he just makes a good strong move and takes it up over Artis.
Roby foul at the other end. Gilmore at the line. The penalty in for the Bulls after being so hot in that first quarter have cooled off. They've now hit only 2 of 9.
Well, what they have done is they've lost control of just a little bit. They're running, and they're not used to running. And so when you're not tired, it's all right. You can do that. But when you get a little tired, the first thing that goes is the clear thinking. And so that now they're running without purpose. And so that if they're going to stay in this ballgame, they're going to have to slow it down and get themselves under control again.
Boston's run off 9-2 to take over the lead, and I agree 100% with Bill. Chicago's really playing right into their hands right.
45-42, Boston to the lead. Kevin McHale, a rookie at 6'11", out of Minnesota. You know, he was the best of all rookies this year as far as field goal percentage. He shot 53%. Bobby Wilkerson. Wilkerson makes it 47-44. Wilkerson with 6 points. He's the man they picked up as a free agent from Denver. Tiny Archibald. Rebound, Wilkerson. Wilkerson, who played on that NCAA championship team from the University of Indiana. Up to Dwight Jones, and they're now starting to back in. They trail by 1.
They're climbing in because what they did is they got the ball inside. They played Chicago Bull basketball that time and played the power game. They didn't go out and run around crazy.
Dwight Jones with his first 2 points of the evening. Roby looking for some help. 9 seconds on the shot clock. M.L. Carr. Puts it down. Artis Gilmore, who was 8th in the NBA in rebounds with a 10.1 average. Bobby Wilkerson. Kevin McHale brings it down.
Everyone right back to that running game and taking a bad shot.
Archibald to Bird, three-pointer for Larry Bird. With another rebound. He's had 2 defensive rebounds from inside. Ricky Summers, you see that? He faked his man, but then he took his eye off the basket.
He put a little bit too much on that one. He tried to fake too much. There's the ball's going to be called as a kick by Dwight Jones. It'll be the Boston Celtics
That
ball.
was not a good call. The referee just called kicking the ball.
It was thrown.
Because the ball was passing through his foot, unless they call a timeout before he did that.
No, it was considered being kicked, even though it was thrown at his knees. We have a timeout. 5:31 to go, second quarter. The Celtics with a 1-point lead.
Fact. About to witness an act of violence. Brute force exploding, unleashing friction at its worst. Because when you start a cold engine, it's barely protected by motor oil. What can you do? Fact. Use the black oil Arco Graphite. The oil with graphite. The lubricant that makes Arco Graphite reduce friction better than any other leading oil. Arco Graphite. The oil that's fact, not friction. Look for the Arco Graphite refund during April and May.
Dorsal, you did remember to send the document to Denver.
Denver.
You know the deadline's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Bigot, I assume you sent the slides to Seattle for the sale tomorrow?
Fortunately, Bingham here sent the blueprints to Birmingham for the big meeting tomorrow. Isn't that right, Bingham?
Next time you blow it, remember, there's always Federal Express, but it absolutely positively has to be there overnight.
Nobody has to tell me to get on the stick. With the wide stick, I don't waste time or money. See, Speed Stick deodorant is so much wider than the other leading stick. Gives you effective protection in just a few strokes. And if you've been using an aerosol, look, you'd use up 2 3-ounce sprays and start a third before you'd use one 2.5-ounce Speed Stick. So get on the stick.
Makes sense.
Speed Stick deodorant, the wide stick.
By men.
Tomorrow on CBS Sports Saturday, it's great heavyweight boxing when undefeated Greg Page battles tough Marty Monroe. Be ringside tomorrow, 3 Eastern on CBS.
Before that timeout, we had a breakdown the floor by Ricky Sobers. Let's look at it.
Well, there he makes his move. See when he get up in the air, he put the ball way into his left hand. He tried to make too much out of that play, and it cost him because he was not able to maintain as good a control with it.
I want to remind you, tomorrow is that long debut of the CBS Sports Saturday. Brent Musburger, the host, and a very interesting story developing out in Los Angeles and Montreal, revolving around Ram quarterback Vince Ferragamo, Don Klosterman, Georgia Rosenblum. They'll have their thoughts on that subject as the show debuts tomorrow right here on CBS. Point lead now for the Celtics. 5:21 to go till half. ML Carr. Look at Bird. He anticipated that one all the way, and he's fouled.
That's only the second team foul against the Bulls. The Celtics have 5. They're in the penalty situation, so that really won't hurt the Bulls, except, again, no one screened Larry Bird off the board. Free throw shooting in Chicago this quarter, Gary's really hurt them. They're only 3 for 6 for the whole game so far. They're shooting 54.5, 6 for 11. That's not very good.
That foul was on Greenwood. He checks out. You look at Larry Kenon, 35, who's checked in for Chicago. So Greenwood, the first man to get into foul difficulty. 47-46, Boston by Kevin McHale. Off to ML Carr. Sobers. Gets inside to McHale and a pushing off. Kevin McHale pushed off to get to the ball. That will be his third. So all of a sudden, Kevin McHale's in foul difficulty. He's going to come out of there. Cedric Maxwell will check in as soon as he can.
The thing is between Rick Roby and Robert Parish, they led all the center tandem in scoring for this year.
Larry Kenon off to Ricky Sobers. Oh, he's got a pretty shot. Ricky Sobers now with 8 points. A 1-point lead for Chicago. McHale, though. And this affair gives the lead back to the Boston Celtics.
You know, he runs as well as any big man in the league now. He's probably the best running big man in the league, Kevin McHale.
And he plays both ends of the floor. Doesn't he? An excellent shot blocker. There's Larry Kenon. Kenon, after a cold spell earlier, now has 6 points. 50.96 seesaw back and forth, 4:21 to go until half. Larry Bird. Gilmore. 7'2" Gilmore, who battled back from knee surgery a year ago. Shot 67% from the field to lead the NBA. Here's Sobers. Carr trying to give chase to him, and Sobers with another one. Rebound over Rick Roby. Comes out of there with it. Bird has it. It's planting. M.L. Carr.
They're going to have to get Jerry Sloan real quick with the technical. He is going crazy on the other side of the court. He just cannot believe the calls that his team is not getting. Jerry Sloan, possibly popular player ever to play for the Chicago Bulls. You talk about defense, he could really play it. Sobers again. Sobers wants the basketball. 52-51 Chicago, 3.5 minutes. What a game we have. Game 3 from Chicago Stadium. Archibald to Bird. Bird, difficult. Dwight Jones over the top. He commits the foul. Okay, Larry Bird just crashed right into a Chicago Bull that time. After he shot the ball, they didn't call the foul, and now the Bulls wind up with another one. But watch Bird. Now right there, he crashes right into Ricky Sobers on that play. No foul call. There's Dwight Jones being called over the back of Roby. Now Jones has 3 personals. Sloan has 2 of his players, Greenwood and Dwight Jones, with 3 fouls each. 52-51. Chicago by 1. Bird. Real pressure put on by Larry Kenon, and Kenon lands on him. No. 3 seconds in the lane. That basket will not count. That turns it over to Chicago. Pretty good defense that time. Chicago denying Bird the inside. That's 6 turnovers now against Boston. Larry Kenon. And Kenon is fouled by Cedric Maxwell. That's the cornbread.
I don't think that cornbread agreed with that call. I think he said that I think he made an error.
Who's he? He had something to say about the Bulls, I think.
Yes.
Who is we, Bill? All right, Chicago. 1-point lead. We come back with 2:59 left in this first half.
Volkswagen celebrates 25 years of being Volkswagen in America with silver anniversary deals on the best mileage car, the best mileage wagon, the best mileage pickup, and the best mileage convertible, all at silver anniversary prices.
Are you guys ready to deal? Yeah!
Silver anniversary Volkswagens, silver anniversary prices.
Out of the blue comes the ice blue freshness of Aquavelva. Out of the blue comes the Aquavelva man. Looking for the light scent, the clean scent, the fresh scent that comes from out of the blue. There's something about an Aquavelva man. Be one.
Howdy. Best-selling sandwich. We take tender, oven-roasted breast of turkey, tangy, sizzling bacon, plump, ripe tomato, and mellow Swiss cheese. Pile it on Swiss cheese. Pile it on thick French bread. Grill it to a brown, and serve it with French fries. Denny's Superbird Sandwich, on special this month for only $2.69. But only at Denny's, where you'll like our prices and you'll love our food.
Our playoff coverage will continue this Sunday on CBS. 2 games. Versus Milwaukee in Milwaukee. Boston again in game number 4 against Chicago. Be sure to check your local listings. And tonight, the Sixers have defeated the Bucks 108-103, and Brett Musburger will have highlights of that game coming up at halftime. So after Billy C. lost one at home, he got it back tonight. You see the free throws being missed. That was a big game, Gary, up there, certainly for the Sixers to win in Milwaukee. They've got, of course, playing again this Sunday, but free throws hurting Chicago. They run off 10-4 to get back into this game, and there's another free throw missed by the Bulls. Kenon missing both of them. Chicago still with a 1-point lead. Tiny Archibald on him. Larry Bird picked up by Kenon and pushing off again.
going to be on Kobe Dietrich. Still, it will not be the penalty situation. It's only the fourth foul on the Bulls. Here we'll watch the play away. Dietrich tries to beat Maxwell to the spot. He does. He's in front, but he doesn't realize he has no help behind him. As a result, Maxwell was wide open, but he pushed off. The ball never got to him.
Kobe Dietrich committing his second personal foul. Larry Bird backing in on Kenon. A little body contact. And Kenon looks like he's picked up a foul.
And that, of course, will be the penalty situation. So very quickly, the Bulls lose that advantage. And the way they've shot free throws, only for 8 so far this quarter, it has really hurt them.
That's unusual, because this Boston team is an excellent shooting ball club.
That's Chicago's 3-3.
This Boston team, Larry Bird now has tied it up 52-all. Bird now with 9 points.
That's only the second free throw that Boston's taken.
Larry Bird makes it 53-52. 2 minutes, 37 seconds to go until halftime. Here is Wilkerson at 6'6", the smallest man in the starting lineup for the Chicago Bulls. Reggie Theus trying to shake ML into Artis Gilmore, and a whistle. Lee Jones spots somebody inside with a foul.
Well, when Artis gets the ball inside, it looks like a green and white blanket all of a sudden just covers him up. We'll watch Artis come in to get the ball. Now watch all the green and white jerseys. The Celtics will just completely go around. If Tiny stays to help, there's Bird. He has a lot of company when he gets the ball.
Well, one of the things that he does, Rick, is he never makes a move without putting the ball down near the floor or on the floor.
And for a big man, that's not right, huh?
Well, that gives the little guys a chance to help out and be effective helping out.
That foul was on Archibald, by the way, his second. 54 through the Bulls with a 1-point lead. Cornbread on Kobe Dietrich, ML Carr. ML Carr has 6 points. Again, Boston with a 1-point lead. Theus, who's been shut down after getting off to a fast start in this ball game. He scored 9 points in the first quarter. 2 in the second. Richard Gilmore. There's Scott Hayes, former #1 draft pick, is on the injury list for the Chicago Bulls.
He sure had a tough career so far, hasn't he, injury-wise?
Dick Roby. There's Tiny Archibald. The Bulls working hard on defense. 5 seconds on the shot clock. 4 3-pointers for ML Carr. Gilmore over Maxwell. The Bulls with a 1-point lead. It's been going back and forth that way in the second quarter. Kobe Dietrich. Theus. Fado. Instead, ML Carr has it. Archibald. Sloan is really upset again on the far side. And that'll be traveling against the Celtics. And so Chicago with a minute 7 will head down the other end. That's 7 turnovers against Boston. Bill team just get a little carried away at times.
Well, sometimes the pace, even with a good team, the pace will get out of control. Because you see so many things that are open, and it's hard to make up your mind which one to take. But whenever you get to that, you're indecisive, and that's when the mistakes come up.
Ricky Silver as we come down to a minute remaining in a very, very intense struggle here at Chicago Stadium. Silvers with Archibald on him. Reggie Theus makes a move on Carr. There's Kenon. A 3-point lead now for Chicago.
Reggie Theus made that play with his penetration. He made the breakdown. Kenon was able to get open.
Kenon with 8 points.
And the penetration he made is he didn't go all the way to the back. He just got into the lane there. And that makes the defense have to react.
Maxwell and Cedric having quite a shoving match inside. Archibald. Tiny Archibald. Jim saying the other day, I know how Archibald plays. I played against him 6 years in the NBA. In fact, his assistant coach, Bill Johnson, was a coach with Kansas City when Tiny was there.
Jerry had a great comment about Tiny. He says, well, he really has some faults in his game. He doesn't dunk very well on the slam dunks, and he also doesn't block many shots.
Time left, 4 seconds. Silvers, top shot. 60-57, and that's going to wind down to the end of our first half of play. The Chicago Bulls, trailing 2 games to none, have a 3-point lead at halftime over the Boston Celtics, 60-50. It has been some first half of play, and this crowd of better than 20,000 is enjoying it. In a moment, Brett Musburger will be along to bring you highlights of that Philadelphia win tonight, as we will be joining him after we pause for this.
What's behind Super 7 Days on our GMCs? An oversupply of trucks with a heavy-duty name. So it's Super 7 Days at your GMC dealer. And he can offer deals on his economical Super Saver pickups, his GMC Jimmies, and Raleigh vans. There are lots of good deals on trucks these days. The difference in our deal is in our name. At GMC, trucks are what we're all about.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
This is Rally Meeting. You out there, Chuck?
We're pedaling
Jim, everybody else is here. Where are you?
Well, we've got ourselves sort of a weight handicap.
How did that happen?
You guys just brought the bread and cheese. We got a whole trunk full of Lone Brown.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Low and Brown.
Well, we're glad to meet us.
Lots of the Low and Brown.
You know people like us, we're teachers. Firemen, people just like you. These are the uniforms we wear at work. But these are the uniforms we wear when we serve part-time in the reserves and the National Guard. You see, in the reserves and the Guard, you not only serve your country, you're part of a first-rate team, training alongside real buddies. While you serve, you can live at home and keep your full-time job. Because in the reserves and the Guard, you don't have to give up one life to live another.
The reserves and the National Guard. Talk to your local recruiter.
We are very proud of you, Peabody. Thank you, sir. Your design of the Firestone 721 is brilliant.
Well,
a tire using 2 wrapped by 1. Genius.
Oh.
24 million on the road, Peabody. And we're grateful.
Chief,
Just one more thing.
Sure.
Now, Peabody, we want you to top it.
Top it? The Firestone 721. It's one tire to top.
Monday, Private Benjamin learns how to fly.
Parachute into a swamp?
But will she bungle her jungle training?
Jump, soldier!
Back live in New York, let's get you up to date with everything that's gone on around the NBA. Would you believe the Kansas City saga? They have now taken a 2-1 series lead on Phoenix. And of course, the story for the Kings is the move of Scotty Wedman from forward to guard. He has been forced to go back there because of the injury suffered by Otis Birdsong. With 9 seconds left, Wedman hit a 15-foot jump shot and gave Kansas City a 93-92 victory over Phoenix, and now they lead that series 2-1. Philadelphia also took a 2-1 series lead over the Milwaukee Bucks. 108-103 was the final there. Let's watch Julius Erving. He came away with 23 for Philadelphia. Marcus Johnson was magnificent. Throwing the alley-oop, Junior. Get in low. Go get it, Marcus. He's as good as any forward in the game. But Maurice Cheeks broke this game open. Here he is with the steal. He had 11 points in the third quarter. That put Philly up by 10. Daryl Dawkins broke out of his shooting slump tonight. Hit a jumper here. He won 23. But let's watch Cheeks again. This basket put Philly up by 4 to stay. 103-99, and Philadelphia leads at 2-1, and that'll be our main game on Sunday afternoon here on CBS. Will be the 4th game of the Milwaukee-Philadelphia series. How about the Battle of Texas? Houston and San Antonio. You got to think about the Rockets when you're talking championship. They go home and they down San Antonio 112-99 to take a 2-1 series lead. And Calvin Murphy, the playmaker here, going to set up the big fella inside. Moses Malone, number 24. And when you're thinking about the MVP in the NBA, you better remember Moses. He ran 41 points against San Antonio tonight, and he was devastating down the stretch. Watch here, 5 seconds to go in the basketball game. Dunley, who was the hero in the elimination of Los Angeles, dribbling in and says, I'll go to my teammate. Go ahead, Moses. And he goes up 40. So we had a lot of other activity. How about the baseball? Well, let's take a look at that and also tell you what's on stock tomorrow for the debut of CBS Sports Saturday. We'll continue after these messages from your local stations.
Monday, the two of us get overrun by teenagers.
Slumber party.
And they both end up in hot water.
All right, Mr. What are we going to do
about that bathroom upstairs.
This is CBS.
American Motors just made buying cars and trucks a lot easier.
Only the ones they can't sell.
Wrong. Now American Motors gives you a 10% price rollback on everything.
Every car?
Every Concorde, Spirit, and every Jeep, Cherokee, CJ, Wagoneer, even the new Jeep Scrambler.
But we want an import.
Then get the exciting Renault 18i or the car. A 10% rollback across the board. No other car company even comes close. More tough action from American Motors.
Something about it. We're working at making our energy last.
Sunoco wants to make every drop count for America. That's why we have a special pump for unleaded gas. It has 4 grades of unleaded, including economy, priced below our regular, which can save money for you and fuel for America.
We're doing something about it. Sunoco is making every drop count.
This may not seem like the most romantic place to celebrate your anniversary, but this is where it all began for Midas 25 years ago. And we're going to make a big deal out of it. We're taking 25% of our muffins. That's right, 25% off every American car muffin. Now just be sure you come in by April 30th, because at 25% off, you won't want to blow it.
A movie star acts out real-life murder. Monday at...
Sunday, witness Peter and Paul. They fought Roman injustice and sometimes each other to keep a new religion alive. Their story will amaze you. Their courage will inspire you.
I've kept
A CBS Holiday Special, Sunday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain. Witness Peter and Paul.
To me, just being on the basketball court is like magic. Hi, I'm Magic Johnson of the LA Lakers. But there's nothing really magical about the things you can do to reduce your risk of heart attacks and stroke. First, eat sensibly, don't smoke, and get plenty of good exercise. Have your blood pressure checked regularly, and you could be feeling like magic too. Call your American Heart Association for more information. Remember, we're fighting for your life.
This message is brought to you as a public service by the National Basketball Association.
Opening day in Fenway Park, a crowd on hand in excess of 35,000 to welcome home Carlton Fisk, but in the uniform of the Chicago White Sox. Boston jumped ahead of Chicago on a couple of solo home runs. First it was Dwight Evans going into that net atop the green monster up in Boston. Who's going to catch for Boston this year? Well, here's Gary Allenson. He is taking a claim to that job, and he stroked a home run into the Red Sox bullpen in Fenway. And then in the 8th inning, Chicago teammates on. Oh, what sweet revenge. Carlton Fisk took it into the net. That put Chicago ahead 3-2, and they came on in and scored a 5-3 victory. What a return home for Fisk, and the White Sox come up a winner. How about some other scores? The defending American Kansas City Royals beaten by Baltimore 5-3, a crowd in excess of 50,000 on hand. Oakland down Minnesota 6-3. Billy Martin used the old hidden ball trick today. Would you believe it? It would. How about the National League? Atlanta beat Cincinnati in Atlanta. 5-3 was the final score there. I was going to tell you all about the debut of CBS Sports Saturday. Come to think of it, already Saturday, right? So a little bit later, we're going to have a heavyweight fight for you here on CBS. Should be a pretty good bout. Marty Monroe is matched against Greg Page. Let me show you Monroe. This is probably the shortest knockout punch in history. Watch this, back to you. Couldn't have been more than 3 inches, right? That man on the canvas who will not get up is the ball. Let's watch from a different angle. Watch the right hand. There it is. Down he goes. Monroe will be the underdog tomorrow, however, against Greg Page. And I was told by a couple of folks that Monroe just might stage an ambush tomorrow. That's a 10-rounder. That will be at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And then, of course, at 4 o'clock, we'll go down to Augusta, Georgia for the 3rd round of the Masters. The 3rd round being the one that Jack Nicklaus says is the toughest of any golf tournament. And oh, what a day Big Jack had. 7 under par, 1 stroke off the course record at Augusta. Does he own this place? Is this his favorite golf course? Well, watch here. 16th, par 3. Here's the tee shot. This will tell you all you need to know about Nicklaus and the Augusta National. Folks, you can't do it any better. This one's off the stick. How about that, Jack, huh? Now, and roll it on in. After 2 rounds, Jack Nicklaus is now 9 under at 144. This is one of his 7 birdie putts for the day. That put him at 9 under par, where he finished after 2 rounds. And there's his round today. 4 straight birdies. How about the leaderboard? Watson's back there with Hinkle, Norman, and Litsky, but they are 4 strokes behind the Golden Bear. You have to believe when Jack Nicklaus gets a lead like that, he will never blow it, particularly at Augusta, but you'll be finding out tomorrow, or I should say today, and again on CBS. Now we're going to go back to Chicago for the second half. The Bulls and the Boston Celtics. So let's send you back now to the stadium, and here's Gary Bender.
The Chicago Bulls with a 3-point lead at halftime over the Boston Celtics at 57. The Bulls with their best shooting statistics thus far of this series. They're shooting 56% in the first half of play. The one thing that we talked about at the top of the show was tempo. You might recall that we quoted Reggie Theus about the fact that he said we have to push the ball up the floor more. More of a transition game. Well, it has paid off. And Bill Russell and Rick Barry will be back in a moment to talk about that transition game, the tempo, after we return after these messages as the NBA on CBS continues.
The Cavalry Scout. His job was to lead, to know the territory, to bring protection to people and property. That's why today the Cavalry Scout is the symbol of the independent agents who sell Kemper Insurance. They're people you can count on to provide quality Kemper for your home, auto, life, or business. Look us up in the Yellow Pages. Once you compare Kemper, you'll ride with us.
Vitalis says it's true. A man has to keep himself under control.
I've just been transferred from Hawaii to Alaska, but I'm under control.
The Jones account, and his wife ran away with his partner.
But I'm under control.
For every type and style of hair, Vitalis has a product specially designed to give you a terrific natural look you can keep under control all day.
4,000 feet, 3,000 feet, 2,000 feet.
But I'm under control.
Who says it's true? Vitalis says it's true.
Perhaps no people on earth enjoy photography more than the Japanese. Because they've been first with so many innovations, no camera company is more responsible for this than Pentax. First, where it means something to be first.
Monday, Private Benjamin learns how to fly.
Parachute into a swamp?
But will she bungle her jungle training?
Jump, soldier!
The NBA on CBS is sponsored by Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way. Light beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And by Elmer's Wonder Bond Plus adhesives.
A 3-point game. We're just about ready to start the second half. Let's look back now at the first half as Rick Barry and Bill Russell analyze the first 24 minutes.
Thank you very much, Gary. Bill, it's basically, I feel, have been a Boston Celtic type game. However, the Chicago Bulls have outshot them. They're controlling the boards. They're doing an excellent job and would have a bigger lead if it weren't for the free throw shooting that they've had. Very poor. Do you think the Chicago Bulls can beat the Celtics if they still play this Celtic game in the second half?
No, I don't think so. I think that what this is trying to do, they've come out, they've taken a strong position in the game. They prove they can do that. But what they should try to do is get the Celtics to play a Chicago Bulls second half. Slow it down, because what happened is that a tendency to get out of control much easier, much quicker when you're not used to playing that way. And you create other problems for yourself when you try to play a whole game or a whole series at pace. You've got to try to make them come to you a little bit. So they should try to cut off the outlet pass, keep down the boards, but they should slow down and make the Celtics have to play half-court defense.
Well, it's a golden opportunity for the Chicago Bulls, and let's see if they can do it. Back to you, Gary.
All right. Each of our NBA telecasts this year, we've been selecting the Miller Most Valuable Player of the game. In conjunction with this award, Miller will present a check for $1,000 to the Special Olympics organization in the name of the player selected. And at the conclusion, we'll announce that as Bill and Rick and I will be voting on it. And right now, as you look at this first half of play, Chicago trailing 2 games to none with a 3-point lead at halftime. The leading scorer in the first half, as you look at Jerry Sloan, has been David Greenwood with 13 points. Interestingly enough, 12 of those came in the first quarter of play. And there's the shooting statistics, the free throws that were missed that Rick Barry mentioned. The Bulls with only 53% hitting 8 of 15. But they shot so well from the field, shooting over 56% in the first half. Robert Parish. And look at the white shirts around the ball. Rebound to Dwight Jones. Starting the second half, it'll be Bobby Wilkerson along with Theus at the guards. Dwight Jones, Artis Gilmore, David Greenwood open for Jerry. Exit 62-57. That's the way he started the ball game. He's the high point man on the floor with 15 points. Larry Bird off to Cedric Maxwell. It'll be Archibald, Ford, Bird, Maxwell, and Parish starting the second half. They have a foul inside. That's Dwight Jones, I believe. No, they're going to call it on Gilmore. That's his third.
They got Gilmore for grabbing Parish. Parish is starting to make the move. Now right there, he hooks it with the right and left arm, and that's where the foul occurred.
3 fouls on Gilmore, 3 on Jones, 3 on Greenwood. So the Bulls with some foul difficulty. Here's Robert Parish, Artis Gilmore. Boy, it's a little tough shot to block, isn't it, when you're 7 foot tall?
Well, not the guy you're looking at is 7'2". But you have to get up on Robert Parish and get up on him with his right side and make him go to his left or pass the ball off.
Broken up by Archibald. Theus. Pass on the baseline. 13 seconds on the shot clock as the Bulls will inbound it. Dwight Jones to do the honors. To Wilkerson. Chased his shot and hit it. That's a tough shot Wilkerson threw up there. He had a
very tough shot.
Floating jump hook. That's going to be off of Parish. Gilmore reached up. Touched it last. 8 turnovers against the Boston Celtics. 5-point lead. The biggest lead of this game was a 10-point lead in the first quarter by the Chicago Bulls. Bobby Wilkerson, Archibald on him. Good ball movement. Chris Ford broke it up. Out to Archibald. No, Bobby Wilkerson. Look out. Boy, he averted some problems over there.
Yeah, like taking off Ralph Melchiori, the Boston Celtics stringer's head.
You see Casey Jones, your old teammate, he didn't seem to be bothered at all over there.
Oh, he knew what the guy. Either he knew he was going to jump over or his reflexes are gone.
Maybe the latter, huh? 64, 59, and 22 to go, third quarter, Bird. Up to Parish over Gilmore. Rebound Jones. And the Bulls in that first half did a good job on the rebound. And they're doing it again. Bird with a steal. Archibald in trouble. And we're going to have traveling. No foul, traveling. Tiny Archibald.
Here comes the play again. Watch this. Cut Tiny Archibald off right there. Get in front. Tiny with the little stutter steps before the collision. That's a good call by Paul McHale.
And the Bulls have thrown that ball away because they're taking the ball down too fast and not setting it up.
Boy, that's a wild shot, and he is called for a foul as he tries to follow his own shot.
And that's another example of they're playing out of control. You have to, if you're going to run a fast break, it has to be controlled. So they can run the ball down, stop, count 2 seconds, and then start running the offense.
Theus said coming into this game, we have to win 2 of them here in Chicago Stadium. And the Bulls right now with a 64-59 lead. Chris Ford, 9 seconds on the shot clock. Parish is open. Robert Parish now with 8 points. 64. Theus, who in the first half had 11 points. Looks in. Backdoor, Gilmore. And as he tried to move, he wanted the ball.
And what happens is he brings that ball down almost to his knees every time before he makes a move. That gives the guys a chance to reach right in and step to try to protect the ball.
That's just a bad habit you get into?
Very bad.
There's the lob pass. Gilmore gets it right there. A little shuffle with the feet. He walks with the basketball.
In today's economy, motorcycles never look better. For example, a gas 4-stroke engine, easy riding suspension, and front disc brake. All are standard on Suzuki's low-price GS 450. So you see, the economy never looked better. The new GS 450. Another great performance. Suzuki.
My Head & Shoulders didn't have it, so I switched to Denorex. My Selsun Blue didn't have it, so I switched to Denorex.
Only Denorex has it, an extra relief medicine to fight dandruff itch. You can feel it tingle. All three have one medicine for dandruff, but only Denorex adds a second medicine, an exclusive anti-itch medicine many dermatologists recommend.
The tingle tells me it's working. That's why I switched.
Denorex stops dandruff itch with an extra relief medicine, regular or mountain fresh herbal.
Help! I want a 7-Eleven Chunky-style burrito for lunch, now.
Honey, it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
The new Chunky-style burrito. Chunks of meat in spicy combinations.
I got you one of each.
Oh, Harold, you're so good to me.
Burritos at 7-Eleven. Lunchtime, snack time, anytime is Chunky time.
Oh, she's eating for 2, 3.
7-Eleven Chunky Burritos.
One day, the two of us get overrun by teenagers.
Slumber party.
And they both end up in hot water.
All right, Mr. Wise Guy. What are we going to do about that bathroom upstairs?
Jack with the lead after 2 rounds is the Masters. The 3rd round tomorrow right here on CBS. Tom Watson's been struggling, but he seemingly has gotten his game back together.
Well, I think it's rather appropriate, the most prestigious golf tournament in the world with the 2 greatest players in the world at 1 and 2. Some weekend coming up here, a great golfing weekend.
61, Kansas City in Game 3 defeating Phoenix tonight, 93-92. They lead 2 games to 1. Larry Bird.
He sprained his ankle. Larry Bird's down. He twisted his ankle.
Off it comes down to Greenwood. Larry Bird shaking it off. Bill Fitch may call for a 20 timeout. Is he going to? He's looking over to see. They're not going to stop it. Bird evidently is going to continue. You can see he was testing it out after that big power move on the baseline. 66-63. Cornbread. There's Sloan in the background. Yelling some instructions defensively. Robert Parish. Boy, with that beautiful high-arching jump shot, he has 10 points. Look at him. He's having trouble, man.
Not too bad. I've had that happen a lot, Gary. You twist it, it hurts real bad for a couple of minutes, and it goes away, and as long as you keep playing, you usually don't have too much difficulty with it.
And Fitch is watching him ever so closely from the sideline. Otis Birdsong, you might recall, the game we did Tuesday night, sprained his ankle. Bobby Wilkerson. There's Fitch. He's head down now. 10 points for Wilkerson. Wilkerson not known for his shooting. Averaged only 10 points during the year. And Parish now is carrying. He has 12 points. He has 4 field goals in the second half. Greenwood. Oh, what a shot by Greenwood. 70-67. They're just matching baskets right now. Greenwood with 19 points. David Greenwood. Off to Prince Ford. Out from Archibald. Wilkerson. Maxwell, they have a switch now, a mismatch, and Gilmore comes out to pick him up. Maxwell scores and hits the floor. 1-point game again. Cornbread with 9 points. And the tempo is quick. Theus to Greenwood. Dwight Jones. Parish. Jones thought he should have had a foul. Maxwell. Greenwood reaching in on him. Chris Ford, 3-pointer. He finally missed one after hitting 3 in a row from the 3-point range. And now the Bulls will slow it down. Bobby Wilkerson to stabilize him a little bit now. A 1-point lead for Chicago. The last time these two teams met here was January 29th. The Bulls won by 23. Gilmore. Good penetration and pass by Bobby Wilkerson. 10 points now. Artis Gilmore. Larry Bird. Beautiful pass. That's a great play. What Maxwell did was he passed the ball and kept right on moving. And right into the open place. That's what you get when you get these zone defenses. Chicago's lead cut to 1. That's the old give and go. Very old basketball play, but it works so effectively.
worked to perfection that time by Bird and Maxwell.
That's the way the Celtics used to do it, and they are continuing to do it. One of the fundamentals of their game for the next year. I think his ankle's all right.
Looks like it might be okay. So here's the play we're talking about. Now Maxwell makes the penetration. Pretty good Chicago defense. Gilmore could have been out, but Bird right away spots his man Maxwell cutting to the basket open. He hits it. The Celtics are on the move. They've regained the lead. They're up by 1.
They'll be built because rebuilding costs are rising so fast even inflation protection may not cover a home fully. But now Allstate's got the brand new home replacement guarantee. Get it and get your home built back just like it was, even if rebuilding costs more than you're covered for. Ask your Allstate agent about the new home replacement guarantee. For ideas that make sense today, you're in good hands with Allstate.
Wednesday, Academy Award winner Robert De Niro stars with Jack Nicholson, Robert Mitchum, Jean Moreau, Tony Curtis, and Peter Strauss in The Last Tycoon.
I know where I'm going to be tomorrow at this time, 4 o'clock Eastern, watching the Masters, the third round. I'm going to be glued to that TV set. Jack Nicholson going for his 6th win there.
Don't call me to help peel the glue off after it's over.
The Masters tomorrow. Boy, what an exciting moment that's going to be right here on CBS. Well, we've had outstanding in this third quarter. Chicago 6 of 7. Boston 8 of 11. Parish has 8 points in this quarter. Greenwood was 6. And a move by Ricky Silvers is checked in. And we're going to have a foul. Ricky Silvers reaching over as he tried to follow that missed shot.
Excellent position rebounder. And once he gets the position there, he knows how to keep the position. What you do when you have this thing is you don't jump straight up. You try to jump into it, anticipate the guy, jump over his shoulder. If you jump into it a little bit, it makes it go straight up.
That foul going on Silvers, his third. Very trying to Greenwood comes out with it. Off to Theus. Boy, did he go by Maxwell. Reggie Theus will give it off to Larry Kenon, who's checked in. Chicago Bulls down by 1. 73-72. Gilmore. And as he wheels in, he's fouled by Parish. Well, Bill, we were just talking. Coming in, Gilmore had only shot the ball 16 times in the first 2 games.
Well, the reason for that is he can't get a shot off because in order to shoot, he has to take the ball down low. And with help from the guards and forwards, it's effective when a big guy that brings the ball down low. Yes. He gets a lot of calls for traveling. The defensive man a chance to block a shot, just like Parish did at the beginning of the game.
That's his third. That foul on Archibald, he's third. Parish, Archibald, and McHale, all 3 have 3 personal fouls. Silvers, Parish intimidated Greenwood. David Greenwood now with 8 points in the third quarter. 74-73 Chicago. Larry Bird on a power move. Parish to follow. Wait a minute, Mahalik has spotted a foul. Parish really hammered the boards.
Here's the last play. Great backdoor play. Stops Silvers from being able to get it. He goes up with the shot. Parish knocks it away, but Greenwood gets the lucky bounce, puts it in the basket.
At the other end, there was Greenwood with the foul. That's his 4th. Bird into Maxwell. David Greenwood in foul difficulty, playing tough ball now defensively on Maxwell. Chris Ford wide open. Rebound. Larry Kenon at 6'9" to Ricky Silvers. Silvers. Bad shot. Archibald. To Maxwell. To Bird. They didn't even dribble the basketball. They moved it so quickly that time.
See what happens when Chicago runs the ball. They don't take good shots because they're not playing their game. Well, these guys are.
Boston will get it in high gear in a hurry. That foul was on Kenon, his 2nd personal foul.
That's the 15th foul, so it's a pendulum situation against the Bulls. Bird, of course, was shooting last week, and the Celtics in a very good position with only 2 team fouls. They can be very aggressive.
I have a correction. It was on Greenwood, and that's 5 on him. David Greenwood is now taking a seat on the bench, and he doesn't like that last call. 5 fouls on David Greenwood. Bill Fitch. That layoff, awaiting this series, and boy, they came out of the chute and won the first 2.
Greenwood going on the bench really hurts him because he's hit all 4 of his shots this quarter.
But they want in this game, they're letting it get quite physical. That was the first free throw Larry Bird shot. That was the first one that any team shot this quarter.
15 points for Larry Bird. In that first half, Boston from the free throw line was 14 of 17 for 82%. And now, the Celtics have a 1-point lead, 75-74. The Bulls would like to win their first game of this series, down 2 games to none. A piece over. Rebound, Gilmore. Gilmore to Kenon. Kenon blocked partially by Parish, and his body's going everywhere. Ball foul coming up against the Celtics.
Larry Bird picking up the foul. We'll see the glass. Kenon makes the move inside. Parish goes up and he deflects it. Bird inside. You see him pushed off with his left hand. Looks like he shoved Theus on that play.
2 fouls on Larry Bird. Dwight Jones. Looks the cutter sobers now to Kenon. Kenon using a screen to Reggie Theus. Theus with a one shot. And Reggie Theus with his first points of the second half. He has 13. Again, the Bulls by 1. Boy, this crowd is alive here at Chicago Stadium. Archibald to Larry Bird. 3:40 to go, third quarter. There's Archibald. Bird follows his own. What ability this guy has. What body control he has. Larry Bird with 18 points. 8 of them in this third quarter. 77-76 Boston. Reggie Theus scored, drops off of him. That was a mistake. Reggie Theus, who was quiet for some time in this quarter, now has hit 2 back-to-back. 15 for Theus. Cornbread Maxwell backing in on Jones. Parish. Great concentration. He had everybody taking a swipe at the ball and still hit it.
He's called wearing out Artis Gilmore. This third quarter.
He has 14 points. Here's Gilmore. Gilmore hits it. He's fouled. That's for a 3-point play. That's on Parish. That's his 4th.
He had a close-up of Artis. This is not his pace of game. Now here's the lob pass. He holds Parish off. He gets the rebound. Parish gets a little shove. A pump fake. Parish waits for it. Goes up. Picks up the foul. Basket goes in.
Artis Gilmore will come back to shoot the free throw. We're right now in timeout with 2:46 to go in the third quarter. The Bulls by 180 with 79. You mentioned how tired they are. Gilmore said they were tired coming out of that New York Knicks series.
We asked Roger Staubach to find out how people spell relief.
How do you spell relief?
For acid indigestion, R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
For heartburn, R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Really does spell relief.
Like a sponge, Rolade's antacid medicine consumes 100% of the acid required to give millions 100% relief.
How do you spell relief?
For acid indigestion, R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
For millions of Americans, Rolade spells 100% relief.
Lifeguard knows a man needs all the protection he can get. That's why a man needs Lifeguard. Lifeguard has a male effectiveness formula so strong, no matter which Lifeguard you choose, it helps man's perspiration odor all day long. A man works hard, but Lifeguard works harder. Now there's new hard-working Lifeguard Solid, too. When you reach age 55, you're wanted by Kemper, because drivers your age or older are among the safest on the road, so the cavalry wants you. Most Kemper companies offer drivers 55 and over a special discount now, and guaranteed renewal at age 60 and beyond if you've been with us for the 5 previous years. For auto discounts and guaranteed renewal, call out the cavalry. Once you compare Kemper, you're with us.
The Masters. In all the world, there are few events that can match this tournament for its tradition, drama, and excellence. The Masters, starting tomorrow, 4 Eastern on CBS Sports.
In addition to the coverage of the Masters, the debut of the CBS Saturday, and a story that I think you'll want to watch. The story
score centers around Vince Ferragamo of the Los Angeles Rams. Will he head north, or will he stay with Los Angeles? That's all tomorrow right here on CBS. And tonight on CBS, we have quite a game. 80-79. Look at this thus far. Kind of even, aren't they?
They are. Both teams doing a good job of getting inside. Chicago with 7 inside baskets this quarter, 6 for the Celtics, and you can't get much more even than they're playing right now.
Gilmore at that three-point play. Gives the Bulls a 2-point lead. Larry Bird. Larry Bird has 20 points. 5-point man. He had 10 in the first half. 81 all. 2:27 to go until the end of this third quarter. Reggie popped it to Dwight Jones. Jones backing in on Larry Bird, looking baseline to Kenon. There's Gilmore, and Gilmore, who scored the last 3, couldn't get up for him. Mighty Archibald. Rovers going to have to stop him, and they don't. Rebound to Dwight Jones. Look at the hustle by Rick Roby. Roby on the floor. To Theus. To Dwight Jones. Jones. And it was up against the rim, and they're going to jump it up.
A lot of aggravation there, boy. They better go up to that one.
There's the play now. Right there, into your picture comes the little basketball.
That's what y'all get no bounce.
Listen, this game's been so fast-paced, the ball won the rest. You can't play this game without a ball, right? 81. All. Side, 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Larry Kenon. Rebound, Larry Bird. Bird, who was 4th in the NBA in rebounding this year, averaging 11 per game. Rick Roby. Roby looked like Archibald that time.
That was a great trailer fast break. He was the 4th man down the court, and the great bounce pass led it to Roby, and the Celtics, one of the best teams in the history of the game, of course.
Roby now with 6 points. 83-81. There's Kenon. There's Kenon in this one earlier. That's the roll. It's all even again. Kenon now with 10 points. Larry Kenon, who had his best production of the year against the Celtic team in the regular season with 32. Archibald using a screen. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Look at timing. He's getting away with murder in there.
Well, Larry Kenon had to get in the baseline, shut it off. He just turned and opened up the door for Tiny when he drove to the baseline. You've got to force him back to the middle where you can get some help.
Boy, you can. The ratings are up in NBA basketball, and you see this type of basketball being played. Playoff basketball in the NBA. Bird brings it down again. 85-83, the Celtics by 2. Archibald up to Chris Ford. 3-pointers. Followed by Maxwell. He caught him napping on that play. And now a 4-point lead for Boston. Cedric Maxwell with 13. Maxwell has played well. He had 21 points in game 1 in this series. Ricky Sobers now setting it up. The Bulls, what an effort they have put in, but they're still down by 4 points. Last trip possibly down the floor in the third quarter. Makes it a 2-point game. Roby didn't see it. Maxwell did. He had more time than that. I don't believe Maxwell knew he had that much time. 2 seconds and that will win by third quarter. A 2-point lead for the Boston Celtics with 12 minutes to go. The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station.
Sunday, witness 2 men who changed the world. Their story will amaze you. Their courage will inspire you. Witness Peter and Paul, Sunday.
This is CBS.
すみませんが靴を脱いでください。
She wants me to take my shoes off.
それは習慣です。
She says it's a tradition. Well, comfort's a tradition at Fava. Nice soft leathers, $25.
それも大好きです。
She likes them. And we'll like the savings on other Favas too. $20 for Fava leather Oxfords. For lightweight canvas. Fava shoes feel so good, you don't want to take them off. Even when you have to.
You take coffee or tea?
Now our land is in your reach on American Airlines. From April 20th through May 31st, San Diego, Phoenix, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and much more. $149 on Americans' incredibly low Amerifares. Amerifares, $149. The best way ever to make our land your land on the #1 choice.
Popping up.
up with lots of reasons for owning a Honda.
A lot of car for your money.
My old Honda dealer gave me a great price on a new Honda. Nice.
Great resale value.
Love my Honda. He would put me a drive. I want to record it to make me some other. See what you did.
This is for you to take.
Well built.
Thank you.
A Honda.
Accord hatchbacks are available right now at the right place at your Tri-State Honda dealer.
Come in now.
Honda.
Los Nidos. New Jersey is.
Be sure now to stay with us. Stay tuned. We'll be announcing the MVP at the conclusion of the game. We'll also plan on being with us Sunday, as we'll have two games right here on CBS. Be sure and check your local listings. Philadelphia at Milwaukee, Boston at Chicago, 1 o'clock Eastern on Sunday. 12 minutes left in this one. Number 3, a 2-point lead for the Boston Celtics. Larry Kenon, Kobe Dietrich has checked in. Kenon in trouble. Save. Beautiful play that time by Dwight Jones. It's all even.
That's a big break that time for the Bulls. That really was a bad pass, and he got away with it.
In that third quarter, Chicago with 54 from the field. The Celtics with 58. Kobe Dietrich trying to stop that drive has committed the foul. There are the stats. Look at that. The Celtics from the free throw line after doing so well in the first half.
Yes, they had a great inside game. They were 9 for 13 inside of 12 feet. The Bulls are pretty good at 18, but the Celtics dominated that inside game in that third quarter.
Gilmore on the bench right now. Greenwood on the bench with 5 fouls as we start this fourth quarter. Maxwell. Cedric Maxwell. He's had every imaginable offensive move in this game. He has 15 points. 89-87. Kobe Dietrich now at the pivot spot. They give Artis Gilmore a breather. Rebound, push forward. A foul situation. Greenwood with 5. Jones, Gilmore, and Sobers with 3. Parish has 4. McHale with 3. Broken up. Maxwell again. That's going to be ending.
I tell you, it wasn't a good shot, but they got such a break because the ball will hit the glass, and then it was swiped away. We're going to see the play coming up right here. This Maxwell with the ball. He makes a good pass off. Rosen tips it away. Maxwell gets back there and hits the glass. Then the block by Dwight Jones. That ball, I don't think had any chance to go, and here it is again. Goes up, hits the glass. There it is. Jones, and that's goaltending.
Maxwell was 17 points, 4-point lead, and Gerald Henderson tries to stay with Ricky Sobers, and Henderson commits the foul. Ricky Sobers making that baseline drive at the 10:41 mark. Boston, who led after the play by 2, now with a 4-point advantage. At the end of the first quarter, Chicago led by 3. They led by 3 at half. Trailed by 2 after 3 quarters, and now by 4. Wilkerson, Cedric. Oh, Bobby Wilkerson. I don't know if that was batted away or what. A foul on Kobe Dietrich. His 4th foul into the scorebook. 4 on Dietrich.
Well, in a game like this, so close, you cannot afford to come down and make costly turnovers. You must try to get shots.
91-87. Boston, Rick Roby. On him, back to Larry Bird. Bird to Roby again. Back to the ball. And so Chicago now has a chance to cut it to 2. Disappointed Bill Fitch. Again, no team since 1977 has been able to come back in the first 2 games of a best-of-7 series and win it. Chicago would like to take that first step here tonight. Bobby Wilkerson. To Kenon. Kenon on a big move, partially blocked. Chicago may have to get Gilmore back in the game. In fact, he's getting up right now. Chicago not getting the ball inside. There's the big guy. Maxwell. And that'll be Roby for the foul. Rick Roby trying to pound the board.
That was bad defense on Kobe Dietrich. He was trying to keep him off the boards, and he was trying to do it with his hands. You play good defense with your feet, not your hands. You get your body to play the good defense. You can't reach in because if you do, it's so obvious. They got to call it.
Gilmore comes in. Dietrich checks out. Kevin McHale checks in for Boston. There's a timeout. 9:44. The Celtics by 4.
only economical if it stands up year after year. Spending less at the pump is no bargain if you start spending more at the garage. In a study of Subaru owners, Road and Track magazine said, quote, one of the most trouble-free cars we've surveyed. That makes Subaru an economy car it pays to hold on to. Year after year after year. Subaru. Inexpensive. And built to stay that way. The making of Taster's Choice. Take the best ground roast fresh perk coffee you know how to make. Then freeze it. To all that fresh perk flavor when you remove the ice. You'll have rich, natural chunks of freeze-dried coffee. Made by a premium process that's unlike ordinary heat drying. Taster's Choice, regular and green label decaffeinated. The only leading coffee that's freeze-dried.
There's Dan and Ellen Fields. He's editor of our local newspaper. He looks worried about his problem dandruff. I wish he'd ask me.
Mr. Owens, what shampoo should Dan use for his problem dandruff?
Ellen, how about Tegrin? It works on itching and flaking? In a national survey, 3 out of 4 dermatologists judged Tegrin's medication effective in fighting problem dandruff.
Let's try it out.
Oh, how's Dan's problem dandruff?
Tegrin's terrific news, Mr. Owens.
Prove it to yourself. Tegrin works.
It's a moving experience.
The preceding announcement was furnished by the National Basketball Association. 9:44 left in this game, Boston by 4. The Chicago Bulls have got Gilmore back in. Greenwood is still on the bench with 5 fouls, so that means that Kenon and Dwight at the forward spots. Sobers, here's Kenon. Kenon off to Bobby Wilkerson. Wilkerson broken up by Gerald Henderson, but Kenon saves it. It's off of Gilmore. And Henderson, and what are we going to have?
24-second violation.
24 seconds while they were chasing that ball. The shot clock expired. Boy, the quickness of this guy, 43, Gerald Henderson.
Watch the play again. It was knocked away. The 24-second clock was continuing to tick down. It was touched by Henderson. That's why it wasn't a backcourt. Right there, the clock ran out.
And so, the Celtics with a chance now to bump it up to a 6-point lead. Bird going to try to do justice. Oh, he do it. Larry Bird now with 22 points. The other end, Bobby Wilkerson. Big drive by Wilkerson. 93-89. Bobby Wilkerson with 12 points. Larry Bird again. Kenon trying to stay with him, and that is score to stay with Larry Bird. Henderson to Bird again. Look at him. He's just taking over right now. Thrown away, intended for Maxwell. Wait a minute. A foul. Dwight Jones. Dwight Jones has committed his 4th personal. Jones out at Houston. Number 1 draft pick of Atlanta, then went to Houston, and he has started the last 13 games. That's when they made the change, taking Larry Kenon out of there and putting the 6'10", 8-year veteran in. Henderson. Kevin McHale, there's that fadeaway jumper. Wilkerson high down, and now attempts to cut it to 2. 8 minutes, 23 seconds left. Reggie Theus pops out, he's open. Reggie Theus with 17 points. He's had 6 in the second half. It's a 2-point game. Larry Bird, Kenon spotting. Kenon has to be very careful with that baseline move. Fritz Ford uses a screen. He's wide open.
They can get that shot all day because Artis Gilmore does not come out when this man sets a screen. They can have that shot whenever they want it.
4-point lead now for Boston. Inside 8 minutes to go. Effort, Bill Russell, by this Chicago team. And it goes to Gilmore. 3 men on him. To Wilkerson. Theus is open. Bird goes high. They say Bird can't jump very well. But he always seems to be in place.
Anybody that can jump the ball can jump.
That it comes to Chris Ford. Kobe Dietrich getting ready to come in. Ford, they thought he walked to the ball. Maybe in Jerry's phone. Kevin McHale hits it. It's a 6-point lead. McHale with 9 points. There's Sloan. His team struggled early. They put it all together down the stretch, winning their last 10 games of the regular season. Theus Ford looking at him. Inside 7 minutes left to go. Chicago needs a basket. Kenon. 2 seconds on the shot clock. He didn't get it underway. And the shot clock expires for the second time. And Chicago at times don't seem to be aware of the 24-second clock. They got to be aware of that. Defense by Boston, Gary. 6-point lead for the Celtics. The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station.
Monday, Private Benjamin learns how to fly.
Shoot into a swamp?
But will she bungle her jungle training?
Jump, soldier!
This is CBS.
Dad, I got a part-time job. Great! I joined the Army Reserve. Well, how can you do that? You're still in school. It's the Army Reserve, Dad. You can join now. You can? Sure. It's only 1 weekend a month during school, and the rest in the summer when I need a good job. That's for sure. I'll be learning electronics. Just don't practice on the TV, huh? When I graduate and finish training, my unit will give me a bonus. $1,500. Hey, you did all right for yourself. Now, when I was in the service...
Find out how you can join the Army Reserve in high school. Number.
Now, you do realize this is only a rough estimate on your transmission job.
Oh, how rough?
Some rougher than others.
Hey, boss, you remember the time you hit it right on the nose?
Why go to a place that guesses what your transmission job is going to cost? At Anchor Transmissions, whether it's for an inspection service or a finished job, we'll give you an exact price instead of a rough estimate.
It's just what you said it'd cost.
On the nose.
Amco. Why go anywhere else?
New York's Hot Gossips, Wednesday on 7:30 Magazine.
Well, in this fourth quarter, Boston is out. Chicago 10-4, the 6-point lead. Bill, that's 2 times that shot clock's gotten away from him. The last time, it's so noisy here, I suppose it's awfully hard to get any help from the sideline.
Well, your guards in particular, because 24-second clock is behind the backboard, they should keep their heads up. They should all be aware of how much time there is on the 24-second clock.
There's the turnover. It's pretty equal after Boston early was on the short end of that. 97-91. The Celtics trying to make it 3 games to none in this best-of-7 series. Maxwell checked in, comes down to the rebound. They have Dietrich at a forward now as Gilmore stays in at center. Reggie Theus. Look at Gilmore jockeying against Kevin McHale. Bobby Wilkerson. Boy, Wilkerson is quite well in this game tonight. Actually touching the basket, that's something that the Wolves should be able to do more of. Gilmore gets the ball because the whole Celtic defense collapses on him, and there are openings for that. 14 points for Wilkerson, a 4-point lead. Tiny Archibald, 9 seconds on the 9 seconds on the shot clock. Tiny to the glass. 99-93, 14 points for Tiny. Last time he had 27. He just signed a new contract. Robert Parish, by the way, just signed a new multi-year contract yesterday. Kobe Dietrich. Wilkerson to Reggie Theus. Theus, good effort on his part. 99-95. Reggie Theus with 19 points. That's right at his seasonal average. Archibald, McHale, Larry Bird, Dietrich trying to stay with him. Back out to Archibald. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Steal by Dwight Jones. Look out, he got a little sloppy there. Wilkerson comes up. Kobe Dietrich. It's a 2-point game. Boston has their lead well to 2. 5:16 to go in this one. After that 6-point lead has been cut to 2, Chicago has stated one thing. They haven't given up yet. We'll be back in a moment.
In
most commercials, the cars start up here, with some help from a helicopter. But these babies from Subaru don't need help. They can switch from front to four-wheel drive. And for tougher going, they keep going with a dual-range gearbox. Any cars would look good up here. But all Subaru four-wheel drive cars even look good getting up here. Subaru, inexpensive, and built to stay that way.
Give your broken bracelets and beer steins to Elmer's Wonderbond Plus.
Give us a break. Give us a break. Give us a break.
Give your broken hat racks and handbags to new Wonderbond Plus for wood and leather.
Give us a break. Give us a break. Give us a break.
Give Elmer's almost any break. Our unique package puts super strong glue right where you want it. So stick with a name you can trust. Elmer's.
Give us a break.
There's this argument in football about who's smarter, the offense or defense.
Defense had to be smarter to react to flip-flops and flea flickers. Then we drink the best tasting beer, light beer from Miller.
We drink light too. It's got a third less calories than the regular beer, and it's less filling. But we had to be smarter to react to the Red Dogs and closing.
Okay, Billy. The flanker does it down and out, the weak side linebacker blitzes. What's the nose guard do, huh?
I don't know.
Defense rests.
Like beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
They come in all ages, shapes, and forms. Chicago Bull fans, and with 5:16 to go, David Greenwood is now checked back in to the Chicago lineup. There's Bird's stats, 22 points, 14 rebounds. He has to be a strong candidate for our Most Valuable Player award. 2-point lead for the Boston Celtics. Greenwood in. Remember now, he's playing with 5 personal fouls. He's on Kevin McHale. Greenwood got this team started so well. Larry Bird to Robert Parish. Robert Parish, 16 points for the 7-footer. Again, a 4-point lead for the Celtics. Inside 5 minutes left. To Gilmore. Artis Gilmore, no foul. Greenwood follows and he's fouled. Bill Fitch saying, hey, see him there? He says, where did that come from?
Well, we'll see if we can help Bill out on this one as Artis goes up real strong. The ball's knocked away by Bird. Here comes Greenwood with the rebound. He goes back up. And I like to know Kevin McHale is who the foul was on. I didn't see where Kevin hit him on the play.
McHale committed the foul. He's fourth. And with 4:44 left, what big time, what a big moment this year, this season for the Chicago Bulls. They need somehow to get a win. They can't afford to go down 3 games to none, and 2 misses that really hurt.
Well, they're going to look at their free throw percentage when this game is over if they don't win it because it's really killed them.
101 to 97.
They're 9 for 18, Gary.
9 for 18. Chris Ford into Kevin McHale. McHale. Boy, he is really a poised man for a first-year performer. 11 points for McHale. Now all of a sudden it's up to 6 points again after cutting it down to 2. Into Gilmore again. Gilmore has everybody on him in a foul.
In college they call that the student body defense. Everybody get over there.
That foul is on Parish. That's his 5th personal foul. Parish with 5. McHale with 4. Now the free throws, which have hurt the Bulls in this game. Gilmore makes it 103-98. Artis Gilmore with 14 points. Artis this year shooting 71% from the free throw line. Another miss. They've missed 3 big ones. Bird is shaken up. He stepped out of bounds. But Bird is hurt. He caught something in the eye, and while he did that, he stepped over the end line.
That's all they call the referee can make. Anyone's going to call a foul. That is not necessarily means the correct call.
There's Larry. Seems to be okay. But the Bulls have the basketball. Ricky Silvers. And that's a charging call on Ricky Silvers. That's 4 on Silvers.
That made up for the other one, huh?
What are you trying to say?
I'm glad you said that, Joe, not me.
That compounds it.
Chris Ford, Archibald, Parish, Bird, and McHale as we go down to the final 4 minutes. Sloan wanted a foul out of that. He was jumping up. Ford broken up by Reggie Theus. Theus with Ford at his side. To Cedric, blocked by McHale. Theus again, tremendous effort on the part of Chicago.
That's a great effort on the part of both teams here. You can tell they both want this game very badly. McHale made a great block. Theus forces the issue, takes it down the court. He spots Cedric open on the right side. Toby goes up to go for the dunk, blocked by McHale. There's Theus to hustle back and take it back up. He's bumped by McHale again, the foul call.
That foul on McHale, or check then. Yes, McHale in this fifth. So both Parish and McHale have 5 each. Reggie Theus makes it 103 to 99. Bill Fitch, an anxious Bill Fitch. He can make it a 3-point game if he can hit this one. 103 to 100. Bird is still holding that eye a little bit. 21 points in the ball game now for Reggie Theus. Parish into Bird. Bird against Cedric. Boy, what movement by Larry Bird. 24 points. I may have to vote for him on the Boston side of the picture for the MVP. 105 to 100. Ricky Sobers. Off it comes to Greenwood. Greenwood to Gilmore. That's a big turnover at 3:12 to go.
Artis just lost the ball. He would have had an easy dunk shot on that play. He just mishandled the pass.
13 turnovers against the Chicago Bulls. 14 for the Boston Celtics. Now 3 minutes left. Big 3 minutes in this playoff series for Chicago. Larry Bird. Rebound, Reggie Theus. 2-on-2. Greenwood. It's a 3-point game again.
That was some move by a guy that size, I can tell you.
This is what it's all about. The playoffs in the NBA. Look at this last break.
There's the step. Well, he looks like he might have taken one step too many that time. That's what the Celtics are complaining about. But Theus makes it here, catches it, puts it down 1-2. It was all right, 1.5.
There is just one place where you can go from high school to flight school. The Army.
All that you can be. Oh yeah. Keep on reaching. Keep on growing.
Today's Army has more pilots than the largest airline.
All that you can be.
Not bad for a rookie.
'Cause we need you in the Army.
Everything's rugged in Maine, Vermont, and Alaska, including driving conditions and the price of gas. In all 3 states, the #1 imported car is Subaru. Because our front and four-wheel drive cars are dependable, easy on gas, and easy to handle, and no matter where you live. Wouldn't it be great to have a car that's overqualified? Subaru, inexpensive, and built to stay that way.
Take a look at aluminum flying, aluminum trucking, aluminum driving, aluminum jet foiling. Aluminum is reducing weight and saving energy because the lighter something is, the less fuel it takes to move it. Aluminum, it's the metal that moves America. And we're doing it now. We can't wait for tomorrow.
2 minutes and 37 seconds in which to decide the issue here in Game 3. There's Larry Bird. Look at that, 9 assists to go with 24 points.
An amazing statistic, Gary, that the Boston Celtics have not scored a point. They haven't even had a fast break in this quarter.
But that last break down the floor by Chicago was impressive. They're down by 3.
They've had 6 breaks. They scored 11 points off of fast breaks in this fourth quarter, the Bulls, that is.
Evidently, man, the tempo pickup by Chicago's paid off for them. But boy, what an effort it has taken, and they're still down by 3. Chris Ford, Reggie Theus. Theus has played extremely well in this game with 21 points. Greenwood leads the Bulls with 23. Larry Bird. Parish over Gilmore, and a foul. And Gilmore has committed his 4th. They're going to call it on Theus, I guess, reaching in. Let's see.
Watch the shot on Bird. One-on-one against Dietrich. He loses him, gets open. Now the long rebound comes back to Parish. Now Theus will commit to the screen. Right there is the foul on Theus.
That's right, Reggie Theus. That is the third foul on Theus. So we have 5 on Greenwood, 4 Jones, 3 Gilmore, and 3 on Theus. Big miss. Robert Parish, there's Sloan. The intensity on this guy's face. Oh, does that open the door for Chicago? 105, 102. We're approaching 2 minutes left in this game. The Bulls would like somehow to make this series go 2-1 in favor of Boston. Third with the steal, but Silver saved it. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Greenwood with 6, 5, 4. Tough shot. Rebound by 4. That was good defense by the Boston Celtics.
Yes, and a great recovery by Ricky Sobers to pick it up. I thought he double dribbled with the ball, but no call by the official, and they forced up a bad shot.
Boston Celtics the last time down, missing those 2 free throws. Tiny Archibald sneaking in. I mean sneaking. Archibald with 16 points. Chicago has called a timeout.
Well, the one man you wouldn't expect to get inside and get an easy layup, Tiny Archibald just takes it and lays it in.
That was definitely the result of bad defense, because the defense is on the weak side. You should open up so you can see the ball where the ball is and where your man is. That hurt him.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Trouble spots like these are what separate Gillette Atra from all ordinary razors. The reason? The Atra pivot. It keeps the blades at a perfect shaving angle, giving you a better shave than any razor that can't pivot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many more reasons do you need? Gillette Atra, the pivot makes it better.
Gillette, when it comes to shaving, we give you the edge.
Well, Bill Russell and Rick Barry, the Bulls are fast running out of time. 1:43. You see the timeouts remaining.
Well, they are making a lot of mental errors going down the stretch. And you can't do that going down the stretch. That's when you have to go down and get a shot every time, an open shot. That's when you have to execute your fundamental plays. What you should do in the last few minutes of the game, especially the Chicago Bulls, they should come down, set up, and make sure they get a good shot. They're not exploiting the Boston defense or the mismatches.
107 to 102. Boston. Theus to Greenwood. Greenwood to Gilmore. Artis outside. They have 8 seconds on the shot clock. 7 blocked outside. The shot clock's going to expire. 3, 2. McHale rips it down.
They got the shot off, but that was they might as well have let the clock run out. The shot they came up with.
Situation where, again, as Bill pointed out, they have allowed the Boston Celtics defense to disrupt them.